Welcome to Inject Mondays. It is me, KIERA, here. Happy Monday to everybody that's tuning in. Today, I'm just gonna jump right into it. My topic for today is um, I'm really unsure, y'all, but it's gonna be to heal yourself. For me, healing came through salvation. And I feel like in the days and times that we're living in, I feel like we don't heal. Like we feel as though it's not okay to feel ultimately. We go through things and I remember before I got saved, going through things and I would just be like, just keep going. I remember, or I would just go out like, hey guys, like let's meet at the bar, have a drink. And so now when I've now that I'm saved and I don't drink or smoke or anything, and it's like, what do I do when I'm in trouble or in a time where I just feel like I just need to heal? And when I first came to Christ, it was honestly like God literally just like ripped the band-aid off for my wounds and was just like, okay, let's deal with these wounds. Let's deal with them one by one. It was literally like, but God, I'm not used to this, all I got is me, and I'm protecting me. I'm not gonna just, put myself out there and open up to people because I don't know people, and I don't trust people. For me, trust is a big one. And I remember when I first started coming to church, like literally every Sunday, I would just sit in the church and I would just cry, and I'm like, like God, what does this mean? Like what's going on? Um, and then even like right before I got saved, I remember I would go out and party, be drinking, and then come home like sober, like completely sober to the point where I'm just laying in the bed like, how did this happen? Like I'm not, and I was like, God, like what's going on? Like what? I wonder, just wondering, like what does all this mean? And in that point in my life, I was tired of trying to control everything, control what was going on, control my emotions, and learning that my emotions was ultimately controlling me. Um, and once I got saved, it was just like literally a breath of fresh air for me. It was just like it's okay to release. This is okay here. You can do this. Um, and so, what salvation defined is preservation or deliverance from harm, ruin, or loss. And then, healing is the process of making or becoming sound or healthy again. And I needed my mind to be healthy. I was in a place where my mind was full of chaos. Literally, I wasn't sleeping well, um, and I needed peace. Like literally, I was just searching for peace ultimately. Um, and you know, I didn't know what to do, and God was like, it was just like situations just one by one. Like He was like, you're not alone anymore, Kira. Like you got me, you got your mentors, and it was just me opening up to them, and then still suppressing things because I don't want to. Nobody wants to ever feel vulnerable and to share everything with everyone, um, and not knowing how people will be receptive of that. And it was like for the first time in my life, God was like, no, like you can be free, like you can be you, you can literally just be here, like that's all I need from you. And He was showing me, as He kept removing this band-aid constantly, just showing me different situations in my life where I was actually the one hurting myself because I was holding all these grudges and all this anger and rage. And it wasn't until a point of me snapping where I was like, okay, like I need to handle this, I need to take care of this. And like I'm a mother, like I got two kids, and I can't do things to put my kids in danger or to jeopardize their future or for them to lose their mother. And I was literally feeling like um God, like He encouraged me to do things like I never did before, like to open up to people, to sit down and just be honest, like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. For example, me and my dad didn't have the best relationship growing up, and I resented him a lot for that. The past 3 years, like it was to a point, truthfully, where I wouldn't even talk to him. I would see him, I would say hi, and I would keep going. And I remember one day just thinking to myself, like, here, that's your dad, like, and the thing about God is that God made me see things different when He started healing me. He helped me realize, whatever reason I wasn't talking to him, I don't know what he was going through. I don't know what what the barrier was there, but to break down and have the conversation. And now we have the best relationship right now. We actually just went to the Bills game together, and we had a blast. Like, it's just little things like that God was like, you're letting your emotions control you, and you have to control your emotions. And just letting me see things from a different point of view, and showing me like stress, that's all stress, like keeping all of that built up inside of you and just going from one thing to the next. You have to learn how to break that down. Because yeah, once you build all that up, there's no telling, you're like a ticking time bomb ultimately. Um, and I had to learn to just let it all go, and it just transformed myself. I remember telling myself one time, like, I'm so stressed, and I was like, God, I'm just gonna transform myself. Like, I'm just gonna change. And I went to the salon, and I was like, just cut off all my hair. I'm just gonna come out with a whole new look, and everything's gonna be fine. Once the hair falls off, it'll just be like a weight lifted off my shoulder. And I'll be honest with y'all, it really did feel like that to me at the time. Um, but it was still me just going with the image as opposed to dealing with the inside, because to myself, I was beautiful on the outside, but I was fighting for my life internally. I was literally drowning in my own demons, and just avoiding everything. Just angry for everybody for no reason. And it wasn't healthy, and it wasn't until a point where I actually got sick, and I'm like, why I'm getting sick? Like, what's going on? And it come to find out, it was actually because of the stress. Like, the symptoms that I was having, the doctor said it was literally because of stress. Like, it was a stress thing, and stress controls it. And you can take medicine to help you, but until you let go of the stress, that's ultimately what makes you better. And he feel like, in the process of like my salvation, God helped me. When he broke it down, he helped me to realize, I have to be happy with myself. I'm out here expecting X, Y, and Z to make me happy, doing certain things to make me happy, and that's not where my happiness lies. My happiness has to lie in me. I have to look in the mirror and be satisfied with me. And a big part of healing myself was I had to forgive myself for a lot of the things that I did, because and the first thing I learned was that God forgave us as soon as it happened, and you're the one that's still dwelling on it and wondering about it. And it's the same, and it still applies. I still go through it daily. I know sometimes I leave the radio station, I'm like, God, was that good enough? Like, was that enough? And that's all the devil just telling you that you're not qualified. And God is saying, like, I told you to do it, so just go do it. It doesn't I'm not asking us to be perfect. God knows we're going to make mistakes. And so we just have to keep pushing and trust ourselves for that. So with me, it was just accepting that, like, okay, God, I messed up. Like, how do I get past this, and what can I do differently so that I don't run into this situation the next time? And for me, healing also meant I had to have make a lot of apologies. Have a lot of uncomfortable conversations to bring out the best in me, and to just remove that toxicity off of me, because you hold on to all that, and you see people and you don't want to speak. You feel things that, and you ultimately, I honestly don't want to feel. And I just wanted to take a different route. I didn't want to. I remember one night before I got saved, I was like, I don't even know what was going on, but I remember I just wanted to go to the bar, and I was like, I'm going to the bar. I was like, I had been going to church for a few weeks. I went to the bar. It was cars everywhere. I was like, oh, it's lit. I reached for my wallet. I didn't have my wallet, so I went home and got my wallet. Came back. There was no cars at the bar, so I went to another bar, and I was like, oh, okay, everybody at this bar. Like, so I'm like, okay, let me go to the ATM. Went to the ATM, came back. I'm like, all right, let me find a parking spot. And then the next thing I knew, I was pulling up at home, because God knew I didn't want to go to the bar. I just literally was running from whatever I was dealing with at the time instead of handling it. And it's it's exhausting, and it's only hurting yourself when you don't fully heal and handle things. And God was just putting things in front of me, things that I didn't even think were bothering me. He was showing me, like, Kira, you didn't deal with this situation, that's why you're so angry, or why I'm snapping on people so fast. And I'm really quick to push people away, and like I don't like to open up, but you have to have somebody that you can trust in. You know, you have to use the resources that God gave you. You know, for me, I've had great mentors in my life. I've had great teachers too to teach me how to, you know, deal with these things. And I feel like that's not really something that we learn. You know, we go through things, we get through them, and that's the end. And I have a journal, I write things down, but that doesn't always, you know, satisfy. Like that always doesn't always fill you up. Sometimes there are things you want to talk about, and you don't want to necessarily tell everybody, but you want the right person to listen to you. You want them to, you know, sometimes you want somebody that's like kind of unbiased, somebody that doesn't know you, just to listen to give feedback. And you don't always want opinions because you might not like what other people say. But we all deserve to be healthy. Health is wealth, and stress is not good for our health. You know, stress can kill you. And for me, it was making me cut my hair, dye my hair, do all these damaging things, and internally just damaging myself by avoiding everything that I needed to deal with. Um, and it was like God was just like, Gary, you don't have to do all those things. I'm here for you. Just build that relationship with me. Um, and it was like for the first time in years, it was like, okay, like I have to heal myself. I have to feel these emotions and understand the root of all of this and where all of this is stemming from. Um, and it's not easy to be honest with yourself like that. Excuse me. And you know, I had to a lot of things I didn't understand, and I remember the scripture, you know, trusting the Lord with all your heart and do not depend on your own understanding. Um, and you know, that was just telling me like you're not gonna get an answer for everything. You're not gonna understand everything. You just gotta trust God. The reasons why it happened, and I had to teach myself too. The things that happen to you aren't always about you. Sometimes things happen for you to help other people in the future, or you know, when people do things to me now, I'm so confident with God being on my side. I'm like, well, God don't play about me. So whatever happens next is on you. And it's like, you know, God is there. He's literally like, now I don't even take a second. I just, if I'm feeling some type of way, I just say, time out. Let me just talk to God, or I'll just write it down, write down how I'm feeling. And God is love. So in the midst of healing yourself, God is teaching you, you know, to love your enemies, you know, do things that you wouldn't normally do. And that's hard because how can you want to love, you have to love people who you don't want to love. You know, there's a lot of people that you might want to hate, or never speak to again in life. And God is just saying, no, you just deal with them this way. You know, you're still keep being you, because ultimately what happens is when you don't deal with yourself, you change who you are. And I don't want to change who I am, and I don't want anybody to change who I am. I want to be me, and I want people to remember me for me. I want you to remember that you did do me wrong, but I still loved you. I still was kind to you. I didn't treat you any different, because God doesn't treat us any different. God could have turned his back on me a long time ago. Truthfully, sometimes I ask him like, God, why did you choose me? Because is nothing that I've done to show you that I deserve anything that you've given me. But God forgives me before he knows I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do before I do it. So he's forgiven me right then and there. And just wanted to also say, you know, healing, you a lot of us go through things and we keep it all inside, and you're bitter, you're angry, and it shows, you know, and it shows in ways that you don't think. I remember going through a breakup one time and just had all my focus. I couldn't focus at all. And so bad that it was affecting my job. And I actually lost my job, you know. And then that's another stressor now, because now not only am I going through this breakup, now I don't have a job either. So it's like it just wasn't worth it. You know, if I would have had better guidance at the time, or someone who I could talk to say, hey, this is what I'm going through, you know, just to get that weight off my shoulders. And, you know, if I knew how to handle that differently, I would have still been employed. Excuse me. And it just makes things harder than they have to be. And you build up these barriers. And for me, it was like, I guess I didn't realize that I had all these barriers built up where I wouldn't share things. And even with my mentor now, like she's been my mentor, I think about 2, 3 years. And I feel like I finally like fully opened up to her the first time a few months ago. And when I did, I was like, why didn't I do this sooner? Like, why didn't I, like, it just like, and I told her, I'm like, wow, like, I was like, you're really different. Like, I really trust you, you know? And she was like, I'm glad you trust me. But it was just like, she was there. Like, out of all me wondering like would she be there, what she would say, and it wasn't. She just loved me. Like no matter what's going on, God has surrounded me around people that just they love me, they support me. Yeah, they tell me the truth, and that's what we need to hear. We don't need people around us that's just gonna tell us what we want to hear, or friends that's just gonna support the obnoxious decisions that we make. You have to be healthy for you, and you have to want to heal for you. And I also learned too, when I wasn't healed, I was just going through the same situations over and over and over because I'm not dealing with the issues and searching for what went wrong and looking at the problems. I'm just going on to the next thing. So it's causing me to keep getting myself in the same situation over and over again. And I'm like, God, what is going on here? And I just want to had to just take a step back. Like I have to do something different. I have to fix me. I can't be. I want to be the best me for whoever's next in my life. I want to be the next best me for my kids. I want to be the next best me for my friends. I don't want to just be the best me for me. I want to be the best me for everybody that's around me. So that way, this way, any barriers or anything that we come across, we know how to handle it. And being the best me is it's a isolation. And when I say isolation, it's not totally just me by myself. It's me and God. Sometimes it's just me and my mentor. Um, but it's just and it's a different type of isolation than when I'm just in hiding. Because I spent a lot of time in hiding. My friends will tell you that when I'm going through something, I turn my phone on, do not disturb. I don't respond. And it's not fair to them when they're just trying to reach out to me and they know I'm there, but I don't want to talk, and they do respect it, but it's hard because is they don't know what's going on with me, and it's like if I'm just blocking it out and I'm just like, hey, just leave me alone, that's also pushing them away. You can push the people that you love away instead of allowing them to be there for you, and then it makes them too feel away because now it's like, hey, I thought we was friends and you don't trust me with your problems, but I tell you mine. But in my eyes, everybody's going through something, so I try not to give people my burdens because I don't like to carry other people's burdens. That's just me personally. Um, and salvation for me was just literally a fresh start. Like it was like a breath of fresh air. Like first service on Sunday mornings for me is like that too. It's like a fresh start to the week, like a clean slate. Like okay, go through your week. Here's your message for the week. Apply it to your life, and handle it. And it makes me forget everything that I might have been going through. And healing also, like, it transforms you. You come out of it different, and it's not always a bad thing, but you come out more aware. You come out with a better understanding of why things happen, um, and it changes you, and change is inevitable for us. And I think that we just have to allow ourselves to go through these things, and to show you how hurt you are inside, because I would have never realized all those things about myself had I not got saved, because I was like, I'm good, like I'm going to work, I'm being a mom, I'm doing everything that I need to do, but what's deeper than the surface? And I had to dig deep, and figure out what was eating at me, what was going on with me. You have to take a look and reevaluate yourself, and now I try to reflect a lot, even in every situation, just to see what I could have did differently. Um, and just take a different route the next time, and then with salvation comes repentance, and God forgive me, like, God, just I didn't mean that. I don't know what happened. I don't like the feeling of like blacking out, and not knowing what's going on, and wondering what happened or why did this happen. um and then also too, I had another point. It taught me to let go. I can't control everything. I can't. I can't. I literally can't. I have to worry about me. I can't worry about other people. I can't take on other people's problems. I just have to deal with myself and let God deal with me. And even ask God how to deal with the problems that I'm going through. Like, hey, God, I'm going through this situation. How do I handle this person? How do I handle this situation? Who can I talk to? Because different people, you can't talk to everybody. Different people might give you different answers. So you have to know who to talk to about certain situations in your life. You don't want to, again, to be drowning. I feel like I was drowning inside for a long time, before I got saved. And I feel like once I got saved, it was like, God, was just like, here, you can breathe now. You can let it all go. You don't have to worry. You don't have to fear. Waking up every day wondering, what's today gonna bring or what problem's gonna come today. Now, I wake up in the morning just thankful that I woke up. I don't worry about what problems are coming, what's gonna happen, who's gonna walk out of my life. Whatever happens, God has been planned for it to happen, and it's gonna happen. So I just keep going like that. Um, and Effie said, I had stress when I was younger and I had two strokes. I'm not perfect, but I had a problem with forgiveness. God has changed me a lot. I did the best, seeing I had less friends since I changed my life, and I'm okay with it. Keep my circle small, even with family. Amen. I'm happier now. God bless you. God bless you, Sister Effie. Yeah, and we have to. Yeah, we lose people in the process. But there's a saying, everybody can't go where you're going. And the plan that God has for you, He may not have planned for everybody else. So you have to be okay with losing people. I tried to hold on to people for so long that I lost myself. And that's something I don't ever want to do, is lose myself. I want to show up for me. I want to know me. And you lose yourself in trying to be like everybody else. I remember, you had to dress a certain way in school growing up. You wasn't a cool kid if you didn't have the latest sneakers, or and then I went to private school, funny story, and we all wore uniforms. So it was like, wow, I don't even have to look for my school clothes in the morning because we're all going to wear the same thing. But I don't even feel like that anymore. Once I got saved, it was like God was just like, hey, you don't have to be this. You don't have to be anything. God literally showed me that, Kira, I love you for you. This is your time to be you. The people that God has placed in my life, they love me for me. They don't ask me to change. They don't ask me to change my hair. They don't ask me to wear a certain hat, a helmet, shoes, any of that. If you know me, I don't like to wear heels. So everybody around me likes to dress up and stuff. I like to dress up too, but I'm just not really there with the heels. So, and it's a beautiful feeling to have people that love you for you, because for a long time, people loved the person that they seen. They didn't love the person on the inside. And now I can say that, if you love me right now, you love all of me, and it's genuine. And I don't worry if you don't love me or not. I'm literally learning to just keep going. Like, God loves me, and that's enough for me. No matter what happens along the way. So I just wanted to say, God, like I said, I can wake up and be me. I love the person that God has transformed me into be. Some salvation has transformed my life, and it transformed me my life into the life that I always wanted. It wasn't the route that I was expecting, or what I had in mind, but I'm super thankful, and that's what is healing does. Like, healing opens different doors for you. And when I say heal, I mean heal through Christ if you can. Find Christ, because Christ is free. He's literally free, just waiting for you to open the door and say, "Come into my life." And that's literally what He did for me. And He wanted to transform my life pretty quick. I fought it for a while, for a few months, and then He literally just like backed me up against a wall and was like, you're not getting it, here, like, and and that was one too. I also learned that everything isn't always the devil. Sometimes it's God just trying to get our attention. Like, I'm trying to help you heal, but you keep going back. So what you're gonna do now? What are you gonna do different? Like, you have to do something different. And so that's why, my theme this year was to do something different. So, I just want to encourage you to heal, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you've been faced with. Heal yourself first, and healing takes time. Sometimes you might heal in a few months, sometimes it might take a few years. When I was doing my research about this topic, I actually learned that we never fully heal. But the part of the healing is understanding our triggers, understanding our emotions, and having better coping mechanisms to handle it. Knowing when you're triggered, but knowing how to avoid the situation so you don't react in a way that you might used to react. Or avoiding the situation altogether, recognizing it before you even get to that situation. Healing is a process. Healing is a journey. I'm still healing from things of the past. Sometimes I'll be like, God, I'm good. I don't even care about that no more. And then I'll see something. I'm like, oh, Jesus. And I'm like, okay, God, maybe I'm not as healed as I thought I was. So what can I do now to fully heal? And it's a process, and it teaches you not to just jump into things and to see the signs before you get there. And I'm really thankful for that. It's been a long journey. I know that you can heal. You deserve healing. You deserve that freeness to be that free spirit that you are. You deserve to smile uncontrollably and just to breathe that fresh air and soar like an eagle. Like that's what God created us to do. Um, God said that we are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, brought out of darkness to experience his wonderful light. God does not want us to sit in those dark places. God wants light for us. He wants the best for us. So you have to heal. And if you even if you don't want to heal for yourself and if you have children, but you deserve to do it for you. Just do it for you. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. I wanted to just, thank you for tuning in tonight. I pray that you got something out of this message. I pray that you were inspired by this message. And I just pray that you find healing. I pray that you find peace. The fruits of the Spirit are peace, joy, and love. And we deserve all three of those. God is peace. And I hope y'all have a great evening. Inject faith, hope, love. I'll see y'all next week. What's up, everybody? It's Kiera here, Inject Faith, Hope, Love. I am so excited to announce that you can now catch me right here on Fire 716 Radio each and every Monday for Inject Mondays at 7 p.m. So go ahead and download the app and rock out with your girl. Again, that's each and every Monday at 7 p.m. Tune in and have a good time with us.